Most people invest in stocks or save in banks, but the top 1%, they operate in a totally different world, with assets that the average person rarely sees. If you're new here, subscribe to LuxFluent and step inside the strategies of the world's wealthiest. The top 1% don't just have more money, they play a different financial game. Their assets aren't just bigger, they're smarter, more exclusive, and often completely off limits to everyday investors. In this video, we're unpacking the 10 wealth-building assets that only the top 1% actually use, and how these tools give them a serious edge. Let's get started. Number 1. Private equity and venture capital. Private equity and venture capital allow the ultra-wealthy to invest directly in private firms, bypassing public markets. These investments typically involve early-stage startups or mature private companies where traditional investors cannot participate. Because these ventures often operate in high-growth sectors like technology or biotech, investors can see 10 times or even 100 times returns. For example, continuation funds, a new trend in private equity, are enabling these investors to hold on to top-performing companies and delay exits, yielding median returns of 1.4 times the original investment even amid rising interest rates and market uncertainty. Access to these opportunities requires substantial capital, elite networks, and deep due diligence capabilities, not just money. Billionaires and institutional backers pool funds that grant them priority access to private deals before they ever reach the public. These investments are also structured with performance fees and carried interest, aligning incentives between fund managers and investors, but adding complexity. That exclusivity, combined with high liquidity risk due to long investment horizons, reinforces why this asset class is reserved for top-tier wealth. Number 2. Hedge funds and alternative investments. Hedge funds are pooled private vehicles that use advanced strategies like leverage, short selling, arbitrage, and derivatives to generate absolute returns, meaning performance independent of market direction. Firms like Millennium Management, with over $75 billion AUM, operate multiple strategies across geographies and asset classes, helping diversify risk and generate consistent returns. This blend of tactics, whether macro bets, statistical arbitrage, or fixed income trades, allows them to profit in both bull and bear markets. For the ultra-rich, hedge funds offer not just returns, but protection. They often outperform during market volatility and downturns, while providing diversification away from public equities. However, their fees are steep, commonly the infamous 2 and 20, 2% management fee, and 20% performance cut. Entry minimums typically start at $1 million or more, with lockup periods allowing funds to operate flexibly. This high cost and complexity lock out many, but serve as a bulwark for those who can participate. Number 3. Commercial real estate and private property deals. Top-tier investors control large swaths of commercial real estate, shopping centers, warehouses, office complexes, and multi-family buildings. The allure here is manifold: steady rental income, inflation protection through rent escalations, long-term lease security, and significant tax deductions via depreciation. Leased institutions have resumed major purchases, like Saudi Arabia's PIF investing in a $1 billion Manhattan skyscraper, reflecting renewed confidence in commercial real estate's value alike. The mechanics are powerful. Multi-year or net leases reduce tenant turnover risk, while economies of scale improve management efficiency. Commercial properties often yield 6 to 12% rentals annually, sometimes double stock returns, with an added benefit of capital appreciation in high-growth areas. Through syndications or private REITs, wealthy individuals can own shares of large portfolios otherwise out of reach. These layers of private deal structuring maintain exclusivity and long-term payoffs. Number 4. Direct business ownership. Owning business interests privately, whether a startup, family enterprise, or controlling stake, provides direct upside and control not available through passive stock ownership. Entrepreneurs often invest in businesses they understand and can actively influence. The returns are amplified because owners capture entire profit margins instead of mere dividends. Additionally, private businesses can be structured for tax efficiency. For instance, by deducting operational expenses or reinvesting profits in tax-deferred ways. Such construction allows wealthy individuals to create interlocking strategies, strengthening a core business while funding tax-advantaged vehicles or hiring key personnel who add value. Many have a portfolio of companies across industries to diversify their economic exposure. Strategic business exits, IPOs, sales or mergers can generate massive liquidity events, resetting the investor's entire trajectory. Direct ownership also enables legacy planning, asset protection, and succession more smoothly than stock holdings. Number 5. Collectibles and alternative tangible assets. Collectible assets, fine art, vintage cars, rare wines, rare toys, and designer watches offer emotional and financial appeal. The ultra-wealthy often build these collections as passion investments and wealth stores. High-demand vintages from regions like Bordeaux or Burgundy have seen annual appreciation of 10 to 15%. Similarly, rare items like Jeff Koons's artwork or vintage Ferraris can appreciate dramatically, though transaction costs and storage demand expert management. Today, platforms like Rally allow fractional ownership of high-end collectibles via SEC-registered shares. This liquidates a traditionally illiquid market, letting investors own parts of a $30 million classic car portfolio. Beyond financial motives, these assets hold status, prestige, and privacy benefits, but they require expertise in authentication, condition, and provenance. For serious collectors, the rewards can far surpass public investments, but the margin for loss is significant without diligence. Number 6. Structured products and derivatives. Structured products are tailor-made investment vehicles created by blending different financial instruments, bonds, options, swaps, designed to match specific investor goals like capital protection, yield enhancement, or downside buffers. They often embed options that allow upside participation without full exposure to market declines. Investors pay premiums for that customization, and the complexity ensures they're mostly sold to high-net-worth clients. These vehicles are built by teams of quantitative structurers using mathematical models to optimize outcomes. They can deliver enhanced performance in flat markets or protect capital during downturns. Examples include equity-linked notes, credit-linked notes, or FX-linked deposits. Access typically requires large investment minimums and specialized advisory relationships. The customization and flexibility of structured products are beyond what's available in standard mutual funds or ETFs, making them attractive to wealthy individuals seeking niche exposures. Number 7. Tax advantage vehicles, trusts, foundations, offshore structures. Ultra-wealthy individuals frequently use legal structures like trusts, family foundations, pension schemes, and offshore entities to shelter wealth and reduce tax liabilities. Foundations, set up for philanthropy, provide deductions while enabling the family to control capital allocation. Trusts protect assets from estate taxes and can pass wealth down generations efficiently. Offshore structures add another tax layer, allowing the wealthy to route income or capital gains through jurisdictions with favorable tax laws. Combined with treaties, these structures optimize global tax burdens. Family offices, which manage billions, employ experts to ensure compliance while leveraging every deduction and deferral legally permissible. The result? Less tax drag and faster wealth accumulation compared to standard salaried or investor households. Number 8. Expert-level tax strategy and estate planning. Wealthy individuals don't just use structures, they orchestrate intricate tax strategies involving gifting, generation-skipping trusts, sales to grantor trusts, and grantor-retained annuity trusts, GRATs. They engage forward-thinking estate planning to minimize estate tax by transferring assets at discounted valuations or during low-interest periods. The goal isn't avoidance, it's legally preserving capital through intergenerational stewardship. These strategies are dynamic, changing with tax laws. Advisors help wealthy families pivot quickly, using gifting strategies during low valuations or dynasty trusts to bypass limits on inheritance taxes, combined with foundations and charitable vehicles. This allows families to build philanthropic legacies while fueling tax efficiency. For insiders, tax planning is not a year-end chore. It's a continuous, strategic process ingrained in wealth preservation. Number 9. Global diversification. Top investors spread capital across geographies, holding assets in multiple currencies, markets, and legal systems to hedge political, regulatory, or currency risk. For example, they may invest in London real estate, Swiss private banking, US startups, and emerging markets simultaneously. This approach protects against local economic downturns or political shifts. Such geographic hedging requires local expertise and regulatory navigation, yet diversification at this scale helps smooth out volatility. If the US dollar declines or local markets sputter, other holdings can pick up the slack. This strategy goes beyond diversification by asset class. It's diversification by jurisdiction. It positions wealth to move and adapt globally, mitigating regional shocks and opening opportunities worldwide. Number 10. Private credit and direct lending. Instead of going to banks, companies may borrow directly from wealthy individuals or family offices, creating opportunities for private credit investors. These loans often pay interest rates of 8 to 12%, secured by collateral with structured covenants. Mosaic Private, for instance, has offered over 10% returns in private credit deals focused on real estate lending. Unlike syndicated debt markets, private credit allows direct negotiation of terms, offering higher yields and control. It's less liquid than bonds, but the income is steady and often resistant to public market turmoil. Private credit is becoming increasingly mainstream among high net worth groups due to its attractive risk-adjusted returns and portfolio stabilizing quality. If this opened your eyes to how the 1% truly operate, we've got more for you. Hit that subscribe button, check out the next video in the top right, and share your thoughts below. This is Lux Fluent. Get fluent, stay fluent.